I think everybody probably has a first glimpse of the problem of evil. If God's all-powerful, he really should be able to do something about evil. If God is all-knowing, he knows what to do about evil. And if God's all-good, then he should want to do something about evil. But take a look around the world, evil all over the place. So the problem of evil looks like it's a contradiction between the existence of evil and God's attributes, once again, suggesting that we're looking at another impossible object, or another version of the impossible object. Now, there's some assumptions that we have in this. One would be that something that's omniscient can do practical impossibilities, anything that would break a law of nature or call upon energy that's not available, but can't do logical impossibilities. An omnibenevolent or an all-good God should wish to seek to eliminate evil to whatever extent is possible within his power, and of course God's power is unlimited. And of course evil, we make a distinction typically between moral evil, which is that done by free agents, and natural evil, which results from natural causes. Now, I probably don't have time for everything I'd like to say here, so I'm going to try and give you one short and sweet argument, better be short. There's two typical solutions that seem to be very much favored for solving the problem of evil. That is, getting God off the hook for the evil in the world. One is the soul-making theodicy, and that supposes that God must allow natural evil specifically so that human beings can develop good characters or can develop moral qualities like compassion. You've probably heard about the things that build character. Well, they're usually all awful. So we have suffering in the world in order that we may build moral character into human beings. Free will, God allows free moral agency into the universe, but the cost of that is some evil choices on the part of these free beings. You don't get to control what happens to free beings, so the story goes, and therefore they're going to make some evil choices sometime. A lot of the evil pretty clearly is blamed on human beings. Now, the general form of these theodicies is that God has a valid reason for evil because it's necessary for some good that we're trying to produce here. Let me give you a quick argument against this. If evil's necessary for some good, and that's how we have to do this, then it seems like that it's going to be inevitable that there's going to be some suffering caused in this process, and chances are pretty good also that somebody's going to be killed as a result of it. The natural forces that are building our character also smash people out of existence in volcanoes, bridge collapses, etc., etc. Now, one way or another, if the person was killed did not benefit from this, if the good didn't come about in their person, somebody else might benefit. I might grow moral character at seeing my friend killed in a terrible crash of some sort. Now, essentially this comes down to saying that God must use one person's suffering for the good of another person. But I want to draw your attention to a fairly standard moral idea. It's not exactly written down in any serious textbook anywhere, but it's a pretty good home truth. Most of us would accept the idea that it's really a bad idea to be using one person's suffering for the good of another. You don't get to torture a baby in order to make me feel good about things. So the principle either applies to God or it doesn't, the principle of not bringing about good through other people's suffering. Either way you look at it, God is not perfectly moral, either because he's exempt from an important moral principle, that's a limit on his morality, or he uses persons for other people's benefit and actually breaks that principle. Hence, solutions of this type actually tacitly deny God's benevolence. This solution can only work at the cost of sort of sneakily not admitting that God's as moral as we claim he is. Okay, I guess I'm at the end of this. I really wanted to keep going forever, but oh well. Oh, one last thing. I want to offer up an atheist's prayer for you. Thank God I'm an atheist. Yeah.